Yo, 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 what is up, chat? How's everyone doing? Welcome to the last and final stream of ever. Yep, this is something that you guys did not expect coming. I'm gonna be done streaming. I'm gonna stop being an online personality. Psych, I almost got you there. Yeah, I know some of you believe that. Nah, that's not happening. But no, this is the last and final stream of the week, sadly. Tomorrow being the Friday. Usually I take my day off on Friday off of streaming, get a nice little 3-day weekend off of streaming, and we come back to Monday. So as we always do over here on the Praddy Daddy, on the Trader Prad, today, the Prad Curry Show. Because boy, was that win rate amazing today. 85% win rate on the market. And the one loss we had wasn't even that big of a loss. So, wonderful day on the market today. There were so many opportunities, and we capitalized quite a bit of them. Some of them we did it, and that's fine as long as we capitalized the ones that we traded, and we traded the ones we traded properly and well. That's more than enough that you need as being a day trader. So yeah, I had a pretty damn good day today. We'll talk about all of my trades on the day very soon. Before we do that, I'd love to see how your day went. So I see a couple people in the chat already. TH, Dan Duval, CDP, who thought I was actually being serious, almost believed it. But no, yeah, having fun with my joke over there. Definitely the market's already bottomed, says Ackman. I mean, yeah, a couple people at my workplace also said that there's a possible chance that with the way the market moved today, we could have just seen the market bottoming out. And if this is the case, then the next projection is apparently an all-time high projection. I mean, if that's the case, then that sounds a lot like a bottoming out. And I'm hearing a lot of people across a lot of places on Twitter, in Discord conversations like, oh, the market bottomed out last week. Oh, the market this, the market that. I would not have disagreed with all of this theory, but based on how Apple traded today after hours on an earnings report, I think Apple was the make or break. There's a meme that I could possibly find on the internet for you to see afterwards, about how Apple was like the last thing that the market needed, and it kind of needed the Apple to do good. And I guess Apple didn't really do too bad either, right? iPhone sales were good, and all the other things were good over there too. But overall, Apple pushed to the downside, and that one might just hurt the market a bit, in my opinion. I don't know. Look, I would have agreed to the bottoms in if Apple's report didn't come out negative. That's pretty much my theory on there. But hey, there's gonna be opportunities tomorrow. You guys know how I feel about Fridays. Free Fall Friday is always something that I love looking out for. But if it's not Free Fall Friday, then we'll look for those lovely long opportunities. And market was going to give us a lot of them. Square coming out with the earnings report. Looks like we have a couple other stocks like DraftKings, Coin, Net also reporting after hours today. Bunch of other stocks that reported today like Roku with the monster move. Palantir came back in play, which we actually traded today. So we'll talk about that in a bit. Definitely markets already bottom, read that already. Hit me up, dude. I want to grow this channel. Hey, Money Mitch, what's up, man? Once again, shout out to Money Mitch. If you guys have not checked out Benzinga or Money Mitch, go check them out. Means they helped me out with that news integration that they helped me out with. So awesome. And he's saying he wants me to help me grow this channel. That means a lot. Yes, sir. I will slide in your DMs and affirm top trade today. Ooh, yeah, I actually did not trade a firm today at all, but I'll put it in my watch list over here, possibly to take a look at it later, and to see if there's any trade for us to take advantage on. I'm mostly just looking at earnings plays this earnings season, right? So obviously the ones that are in play, the catalyst stocks, but I think a firm got some sort of an upgrade maybe recently or even today, and I would love to see how that one trade. I did not even pull up a firm at all, but let's show you guys the trades that we took on the day today. Once again, Prad Curry today was on the court. We were cooking it, doing all those Euro steps, those side-by-sides, those reversals, and those layups, those alley-oops, those three-point shoots were the main thing that we want to talk about. We were 85% from the field goal, from the three-point range, just nailing those shots today. And I mean, monster opportunities, and we're just happy to capitalize on it. But first, we're gonna start off with a little bit of regret on Shopify over here. Shopify, we talked about this range of near 55.50 to 56 area. So off the open, Shopify flushes to the downside, kind of bounces off of 56 first, but it's a little bit lower than 56. So I got long once it reclaims 56. I'm too greedy. I don't take profits at $1 per share profit. Later on, it flushes to the downside, makes a new low, and I get stopped out. Here, I think, Shopify is up 20 damn percent or something, or I think at this point it was only a 14-15% if I remember accurately. It could easily just retrace back into this range and find buyers in the middle of this range on the daily chart and then bounce back up. So I'll be a little careful. But when we stuff right into 55.50s, that area, the range low of that high over here, which was the lower end of that range that we were looking for buyers to come in, there was a lot of buying taking place. So me looking at that buying come in, I get right back into the trade. I add on the way up. This time I'm not going to be greedy, so I'll take some profits out. And then once the stock pushes right back into the pre-market highs, I think the stock's not going to do anything else more. I'm just going to jump out of the trade because I know way too much than the market's actually going to show to me. I'm not going to listen to what the market has to say. I know more. And that stupid mentality over there made me not capitalize a bigger move on Shopify. Later on, it did give you a chance to buy the dips. I did have orders. I didn't get filled. I also had the order later on in the day when after it made this dip and showed me the hold, I had the order back out to take the dip the second time if it came back in, which it never really did. So I didn't get a chance to take Shopify longs again. But this was the trade over here on Shopify. Later on in the day, eventually, I do try to take the 60 break, which happens to be the where the stock grinds on all day for a big time of the day. So I'm looking to take the high day break, which is around $60.09. So I'm taking the 60.11 break, 60.10 break basically, and I'll give it the stop to the low of this range. I get stopped out. I'm still watching the tape to see what happens. Does buying show up? Does selling show up? And the stock is not able to really print properly above 60.10, 60.11. So on the way back down below 60.10, I'm offering near 60.05. I get filled and I'm able to catch a nice swing to the downside right before the end of the day over here. And I close my position out because I see some things on the imbalance locator where it shows like there could be some buying coming into this position. It was also holding right off the 50 period EMA on the daily chart, on the 1 minute chart, sorry. So noticing all these or maybe it was a 5 minute chart, not the 1 minute, maybe it was a 5 minute chart. It was holding the 50 period EMA and focusing on all of these variables. Just punched out of my position, took profits. Whatever I lost over here, made it back and some on that short there. So Shopify, number one trade of the day for us. Second best trade on the day for us today. Ooh, we should probably turn this integration on, huh? I forgot about turning this one on. Let me turn that bad boy. Bang. Ooh, look at that. Look at that cool little thing that we added to our production value, right? Now that you can see exactly what stock we're trading, every 10 seconds ish or so that bubble will float in. The stock we're talking about over here is Penn National Gaming, casino gambling stock. We kind of prepped for this yesterday. Didn't really prep for it too much on stream because the stock had earnings pre-market. So after the stock had earnings pre-market, it wasn't really on my radar off the open. As I was flipping through the positions on my watch list to see where the stocks are currently trading at, maybe there's some certain value in some positions to look for some trades around. So Penn National over here, rejecting 22 on the initial move up, coming back down, finding buyers again, but not trading lower. It's basically creating a higher low, higher high. The 5-minute pattern looking better and better in this range overall by $22. So looking at that, I'm getting ready to take the break of 22. I take the break of 22. The stock goes higher, comes back down, and I'm watching the tape at this moment. It goes back under 22, maybe only like a couple pennies or so, but doesn't go under 22 for too long. That allows me to get into this position more once once it gets back higher, bid again and just get easy fills. Sometimes I do have to be aggressive, but most of these fills are just nice and easy passive fills. Let the stock come down, fill me on the bids, and then just offer out on the range highs, scalp out some easy profits and try to hold some shares for a bigger move. Later on, once the stock comes back down into these ranges, I get back into these lows, able to hold it for a nice little pop right back to the north side. But the pop starts getting sold right back into these previous high days. Looks like that 23 barrier that the stock had right around this area that we already have mapped out. So I wasn't looking for a big dream move. I mean, hey, 15% already on the day. Its ATR is 1.1. The stock is up 3. So the stock is doing, you know, big moves already on the day. Can't be expecting too much on it. Possible continuation days tomorrow, or possible retracement tomorrow as profit takers come in or new intraday sellers come in to take some short action on Penn National. But for now, as the trade has played out, that 22 level held beautifully throughout the day. So clearly a buyer over here. I'm interested to see if that buyer shows up tomorrow at that same price, or are we able to get under 22 tomorrow? Pretty good area to possibly keep on watch. I should have probably showed you guys this before we moved on to Penn National. So why don't we just show you this right now? Shopify. How to possibly have traded Shopify better. So, you know, on a hindsight, kind of looking at Shopify over here on the 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart, you know, looking at the patterns forming, here's an area that we could have bidded and kind of got filled and risked that low, which was almost $1 risk. And based on that dollar risk, we like to look for 3R, 2R trades. I think it would have allowed us to hold the stock for a bigger move into $60. But because our risk to reward was so tight, our entries were right around 50, 60s, 50s, 70s, and our risk to reward was so tight, we had that mentality of 2R, 3R, 5R, 6R wins already, and we got out pretty much at the pre-market highs and missed a little bit bigger move to the north side. But I think, you know, if we were a little bit more patient, watch the stock create a higher low, consolidate, bring some buying in, not really able to go too much lower than 56 over here on the range to the south side. Bid in over here around 56, maybe only risk 50 cents instead of actually $1 or so. And then you can look for a second add over here after the stock gets back above today's VWAP, comes back to today's VWAP, shows you an immediate pop off today's VWAP, and more buying coming in. You can bid more size over here or be a little more aggressive over here, and you can now trail your stop to the north side to the low of this candle, somewhere a little bit lower than that candle, not exactly to the low of that candle. And then you know, you would be able to catch a way bigger move. So kind of you know, creating these type of charts for yourselves when you're trading whatever stock that is you're trading. You know, take a picture of it, find these areas that you would have liked to recognize, and then once you do enough of these, you'll start to create a little bit of a bank in your head where you'll start actually being patient and recognizing these ad spots and recognizing these trade locations, and just you'll be just getting better and better and better in your trading. Trust me on that. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the next stock on the day over here, PayPal. I think PayPal was actually one of the stocks we traded right off the open. PayPal, we had a level around that 55.50 area, which was the previous 52-week low right here on the chart. As you guys can see, this previous 52-week area had a pretty good channel to the downside, and then we basically broke down to that level after a couple of news catalysts came out and never really tested that high again, or those lows again, sorry, which would now be those highs. We never really tested that range low, and off this earnings catalyst, looks like the stock, I don't remember the stock popping. Yeah, this was the earnings move over here on the blue side of the chart. I can zoom in for you. So this, I I remember this. The stock didn't really pop into that high in after hours, but pre-market popped up, and you saw a beautiful rejection, kind of a double top over here on the 5-minute chart, showing you struggle around that 55.50 area, and then off the open, the stock basically, I think if I remember accurately, opens around 55. Struggles to go above 55. I'm watching the tape. I'm watching it try to take out 55 and not have any power to take out above 55. And then immediately we're under 55, trading around 54.90, 54.80, 54.90, 54.75, 54.90. Bang. That was all I needed to see. I'm getting into that trade off after that because we're getting to 54.90. We're not getting above there, but every time we get to 54.90, it just gets stuffed right back to the downside, going to like 54.70 and lower and lower and lower. So that means bids are running away. The seller is there, and they are going to get sold off the open over here, take some profits to the south side, or some new intraday short seller coming in. Able to look at all those indications, punching a short, immediate dollar per share drop to the downside, taking that profit. My risk wasn't even $1 per share because I was just waiting to close the stock if it ran back to 55. But on a bigger time frame scale, technically, as where I did enter, my stop should have been above 55.50. So in which case I got some out at a 2R win, and then I flipped away from the stock because I was trading other positions on the day too. So I kind of missed out closing this position at this level low, which we already have mapped out. This happens to be this range high. So the stock basically drops down to this range high and then pops off of that level. Would have covered if I've seen, or if I was focusing and being a little bit more vigilant about these prices. Later on, after the stock shows me rejection off VWAP, I'm watching the tape. It goes to VWAP and immediately gets stuffed back down. So I get some short there, have some profits on the way down. I'm watching the stock's pattern too. We're getting higher lows, higher highs, and we're going back to that same seller, testing that same seller, but this time it's trading a little bit higher than that previous price. So I'm a little bit worried, but I don't want to miss the trade to the downside if it goes back down, right? So I add back to my position a little bit, not too much over here, small add compared to how much I've been trading this position all throughout the day. That position gets stopped out and the whole trade's done. At this point, it's no longer a short for me, and I actually stopped trading completely on the day for PayPal. PayPal actually, if you look at it on a bigger perspective, or not a bigger perspective, but looking for the right spots to be in and looking for all the trades that PayPal actually offered you, this is a stock that you could have been in super active throughout the day. Lots of RVOL, big RVOL on the stock compared to how much it's been trading recently, and that would have allowed you to get into the stock at multiple points. So this is the first spot that you could have possibly got in. The rejection of 55 and failure to go back above 55 and test the pre-market highs and also that range lows that we were previously talking about. So get short over here, risk about there. Get some out at 2R, hold some for a bigger move. You end up making more than 2R, 3R if you end up holding for that bigger move. Right at the range high, the previous range high that we already have mapped out, this kind of gives you the pops over here, and the holding of this area gives you a chance to completely close your position. Now you can kind of look for either shorts to get into this trade or longs. But after seeing higher high, higher low, this is kind of a spot where you look for the long, either here or here. And if you get here, you're basically having a stop over here. But if you're getting in over here, then your stop could be over here, and your risk to reward just gets way better, because if the stock breaks this low, then it's very easily going straight back to the day's low and breaking the day's low. But if the stock doesn't break this, there's a very good chance it pops right back into VWAP, where more selling could come back in, at which point it could dive right back to the south side, or there is no selling to come in, and now the pattern and the trend has changed and we're actually going up. The selling is done, selling is exhausted, and now we're actually going north side. So if you kind of focus on those two concepts, you get to go long over here with the tight risk. You get to add on the hold of today's VWAP with the tight risk. Over here, you get to add on the hold of near $54 and get more areas to hold and add and get long on the position. The reasons why you want to kind of flip biases on the long after the open is because the stock is positive on the day. Even after the sell-off, the stock is not negative, right? And that's the kind of the expectations on the day that we had. We could possibly get a solid sell-off on the stock. A lot of people who were previously stuck on this are most likely going to get out of the stock at break even if they can. So that's giving you the selling pressure over here. And then later on, if the stock's earnings catalyst is positive enough, you will see hedge funds kicking in, some buying programs kicking in and taking the stock back up north, which is what happened eventually. I want to show you a little example of how PayPal will look like if I was to put in an anchored VWAP from today's low. Oh, that looks pretty much same like today's anchor VWAP. Okay, so that kind of just shows you how much buying took over and how controlled it was on PayPal later on in the day after the initial retail drop off and the retail sell off. They probably created that liquidity over here for the short side so they can trap people and then eventually have those shorts squeeze on themselves and pop back up, right? Couple tin hat conversations over there. Not saying I know exactly what happened, but that is pretty interesting that if you put an anchored VWAP from exactly low a day, it happens to end up being the earnings VWAP, which indicates that basically this area of volume that the stock traded in is way more important than these areas over here, even though the opening candle shows you a lot of volume being transacted. If I was to also turn on the volume point of control, that shows you exactly where most of the volume was transacted, and we're not wrong by saying that or by guessing that most of the volume transacted up here, because I mean, look how long we traded here. Look how long we traded here. Look how sticky the price was over here near 55. So wouldn't be surprised if we see some good north side moves over here on PayPal. PayPal getting ready to have a bigger boost up and finally make us some money? No, I don't think so, because my average price is $119. I'm perma broke on PayPal. Perma broke. Next stock we traded on the day was CFLT. So this stock on the daily chart, if you kind of zoom out, you see a double bottom on the daily chart coming in right around that $16.50, $16 area. Off the open, we weren't watching it. It opens, it drops down, it halts. But after it halts, it actually starts going back up north. Thankfully, we weren't trading it. I think if we were watching it, we might have gotten into the halt, gotten trapped. Before we talk more about CFLT, let me just fix this for us. Getting into the habit of doing this. Nice, good job, Prad. CFLT didn't want to. I would have probably gotten into that halt, knowing me, gotten trapped into that halt, and then just screaming all the way up to the north side trying to get out of this position, and probably been tilted off that. Also noticing the stock actually opened up pretty damn near $16 and if we had noticed that, we probably could have just monkeyed into the break of 16.50 and had a nice $1.30 per share move immediately off the open. Was that in pre-market / off the open? Let's go verify over here on a better chart. No, the stock was already trading below 16.50 off the open. So yeah, there's no way we would have had that trade there's no way we would have had that trade. It opens up near $14, $15, flushes to the downside, then pops up after the halt up or whatever it does. Did it even halt? Let's go verify. Yeah, it did halt. After halting, pops up and goes up to the north side. Never really makes a new low a day since then, I think. Oh yeah, okay, good. It didn't. But our overall trade was basically looking for any reason to get into the short around that 16.50 area. So, but the stock does pop into 16.50, as you can see. It starts selling off by 16.30, 16.40, gets back under today's VWAP, and then it starts selling off by 16.10. So I get short on the move down by 15.50, 15.60ish or so. I get too greedy. I don't take any profits, and then the stock pops back into 16.10 and back into VWAP. I'm watching it. I'm going, this stock could easily break this area, start halting up to the north side to the point where I get trapped into a dollar per share against me. So you know what? I'm just gonna take my profits over here and run away from this stock, and that's exactly what I did. Eventually it does give me a little bit of a bigger flush later on. I don't care. It pops back up, gives you more chances to get short. I felt like, you know, if it was gonna test this area so many times, eventually it's gotta give that area, but it doesn't. There was a lot of volume transacted in this area eventually, so tomorrow maybe we can find a trade off at this price if there is some volume on CFLT. I don't expect it to have a lot of volume, and to be honest, it's not even on my watch list for tomorrow. Amazon was a simple trade later on in the day. Was just looking to make a little bit more money. You know, was bored, didn't have enough trades logged, I guess, for the day. Still had a lot of risk appetite left after smashing some of the trades I did on the day. So looking for a long over here around yesterday's close. It was exactly $137. I like the way that we were holding around yesterday's close. You see this triple bottom, and each low is a higher low. So it looked good. Looked good, not bad at all. So right around 137, $10 or so. I'm bidding. I get into that price. We got a nice pop into VWAP, but right after we get popped into VWAP, it starts selling off and the market starts to push down a little bit. So that was all I needed to see, and I also expected Amazon to just trade sideways for quite a bit throughout the day. It could easily not do anything, but if for any reason Amazon wanted to wake up, because the market was rallying, Amazon and Google were a little bit more lagging compared to Microsoft and Apple. So I was able to, get into Amazon with a tight risk to reward trade possible. Eventually, kept that in the back of my mind that the stock could just trade sideways all day if it wanted to. So didn't want to get stuck into that trap, and it looks like I might have made the right decision on AMZN. Quick little scalp profit to the north side. Pinterest, quick little scalp short / break even trade. This stock, we were talking about this 31 area for quite a bit. It opens up. Actually, does it break 31 off the open? Oh man, that was the short right there. Oh, that sucks. That was the short right there. If I saw that, I would have been in that, obviously. Missed out on that short to the downside. Beautiful short. Gives you areas to reload on the stock near 30.75 and have a tighter stop once you get in over here. Moves to the downside, and after this consolidation, if you don't get out in this consolidation, you're an idiot, because you're seeing buying coming in. 30.35 is probably where you get out. Beautiful risk to reward play coming on the failure of holding above 31 from the opening drive. Later on, after the stock burns all the stops and the buying comes in, the stops start to get out of their position and new longs start to enter these positions, getting a nice move back above 31, but not too much above 31 does the stock go. So on this move back below 31 is where I'm getting short, watching the stock going down over here below 30, but not really go too much below 30.80, 30.90. Focusing on those on the tape over there. Don't like the price action. I'm getting out of this trade, right? I don't see enough red coming in. Every time we do go down, there's a lot more green, and the velocity of the green is faster than the velocity of the red. So just don't like the price action that I'm watching. I'm out. Take a quick little scalp off it. Probably just made a couple pennies or a couple cents per share over there. So not a big trade at all. But later on in the day, I think it does flush to the downside. Don't remember. Pinterest, though, I think this was the trade right here. We missed out, sadly. And we do have it mapped out, though. Yeah, we do have it mapped out. I don't remember mapping this out, I'll be honest. Pinterest actually gives you 4 areas to trade the stock today. So the failure to get above 31 off the open and stay above 31, you get short over there and have your stop right above there. Later on, once it makes this rally above today's VWAP and gets back under today's VWAP, right around here, you could have gotten short with a stop over here or added to your position, and then most of your size should have been out in this area. Then you could have flipped long around these areas, put a stop somewhere over here, added somewhere over here on the hold of 31 later on, have a stop under, and looks like we actually got above 31 all the way up to 31.24 or so, giving a decent trade. Not too big of a win on either side, but good risk to reward wins at the end of the day if you were just looking for those low-key hidden plays on the day and not looking to go gamble on Roku and some of the more volatile stocks out there, which was me. I don't want to go gamble on Roku. I was happy making my money on the stocks I did. Roku is a little bit too wild for me, and my track record with Roku is never been the best. My track record with Roku has actually been the worst from any of the stocks I remember. And my bias on Roku is also pretty negative. So Roku going long is pretty hard. Pretty hard. Palantir, waited for Palantir near $18 on the failure to get back below 18. Oh, sorry, on the failure to stay above 18 off the opening drive, got short, got stopped out right away. The stock made a new high a day. It ran up to $18.30. I don't have to worry about that move all the way up to $18.30 because the previous high a day was around 18.05 or so. I got stopped out on that move and I was okay with that trade. Later on, watching the stock still did not off. It's not off my radar. I'm still having it's as my number one priority stock of the day. Watching it trade around, I watch it gets back below 18, so instantly as it gets back below 18 I get short again, and I was able to capture a pretty decent move all the way down to 1775, 1760 or so, but the stock is not able to really push too much to the downside. It's holding today's VWAP. Anytime we flush into today's VWAP, instant buying coming back in, and looks like the buying is way more powerful than the selling overall, or the profit taking, or whatever you want to talk about it, right? Overall, the downside pressure not really there as much near 1750 as much as it was near 18 off the open. So I start closing my position a little bit more aggressively, focusing on that. Later on in the day, when I'm actually not focusing on the stock, ends up giving you a way better trade on the $18 rejection. This was basically a trickle move to 18. It's not just a run up to 18, come back below 18 or whatever. This is kind of a better move where the stock could have basically had a lot of strength to go up north. But even after having this type of pattern to go up there and then putting in a higher low, this was weak enough of a reason to get back into the $18 rejection and have that real short on Palantir if you were looking for it. Looks like Palantir ended up trading somewhere around $18 later on in the day, however, and that's how important that level is. So looking for more trades off that price, most likely tomorrow. And shout out to a stock that we hold on the long-term account, helping us out make some money finally. Palantir, baby, shout out to you. Here's a couple areas that we could have possibly traded Palantir a little bit better today. Looking for that short right here instead of looking for it at the open, I guess. Because that consolidation from 1797 to 1813 that we have previously mapped out. Looking for a short somewhere over here with a stop at the high of that range, giving you a nice move, and then looking for a long after it holds VWAP with the stop over there, looking for a nice move back up. So Palantir, a couple of trade ideas for ourselves to possibly look for tomorrow. We'll talk about that later on in the day. The only loser we have today, Qualcomm. I think we could have saved ourselves from losing on this trade, honestly. I think we could have saved ourselves from losing on this trade, but, being very honest, on this 5-minute chart right here, you guys can see how the stock was holding the anchored VWAP from earnings. It was pretty much bouncing constantly, non-stop, bang, 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 off of a certain price over here. I think somewhere around 116.30. I want to say 116.30 based on where the bounce looks like. We can pull it up on TradingView and look at it right there. Anyways, why don't we do that, Prad? Why don't we do that? What was that price? Yes, 116.30. Not close enough. Not bad at all, right? So it was bouncing off that price. So these are 5-minute candles after the open on the chart that you're seeing on the right side. And it looked like it was strong, but beautiful bounces too. But after the stock, I guess, fails to really have any power above 119, not moving up to the higher end of the ranges that we were looking for, this pattern right here off the open should have taken it to 120. But this pattern did not have that move up to 120. So obviously, if it's moving back over here, it's a little bit more doubtful. This entry is fine, but this ad is I was like, hey, it's so close to my stop. I can just add a little bit more and not really take that big of a risk on the last few ads. And if the stock does end up working and if it does start ripping up to the north side, then I end up making a little bit more money. So it doesn't really hurt me that badly if I add into that position. And you know what, I was right, it didn't really hurt me at all. I lost a couple more dollars per share on well, not a couple more pennies per share on that position also. And we gave up some money on the day on the stock, but we still ended up pretty nice and green on the day. So I mean things like that I'm not gonna be too upset about, but we could have saved ourselves. That ad or that start I'm not mad about because it looked like the stock was curling and going back up to the north side, so I'm not too upset about that. Looks like it was also holding today's VWAP, but this one over here, we could have saved ourselves from that, but I'm not gonna be too upset from that one. Nope, not gonna be too upset. This, ladies and gentlemen, was our trades on the day. Beautiful win rate today, monster win rate. We were shooting threes like my name was Steph Curry, or should I say Prad Curry, cooking it like cooking curry like I'm Steph, cooking curry like I'm Steph. I guess that should have been the audio stream's current bitrate 0 is lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend that you use an audio stream bitrate of 128 kilobytes per second. Is the audio good, guys? Chat, let me know if the audio is buggy or there's problem with the stream or anything, please. I would appreciate you guys letting me know that. Today's watch list, or sorry, tomorrow's watch list is most likely, going to be this few basket of stocks. We do have other stocks that we can talk about that moved around today or throughout the week. Some of the other stocks are kind of going to be on the back burner trades, not as important of stocks to trade tomorrow as these list of stocks are. Couple other stocks over here that are announcing earnings tomorrow pre-market that maybe could be interesting. Couple stocks that moved in after hours today, but these are also earnings plays. Fortinet, I think, and Bill, both earnings plays, and the Magnificent Seven, which obviously were a lot interesting, I guess, today, but I was not looking at the Mag 7 at all. I was way too busy with the in-play stocks that were the earnings names. And a firm over here, we're going to take a look at a firm for our friend Money Mitch, because he said that was his best trade on the day. Money Mitch smashing them trades. Our friend from Benzinga, ladies and gentlemen. So go check out Benzinga. This is what their platform looks like. Bang, this is what their platform looks like once you the page doesn't update for you guys. Okay, this is what their platform looks like. There's a nice little chat area where you can talk to each other, and beautiful news coming in right on time, especially if you're trading those news catalysts or earning catalysts. Very useful tool over here. Check out Benzinga. All the links down below in my description. Go check out Benzinga. First stock on the watch list, ladies and gentlemen, Apple. But before that, we take a hooty hoo. First stock on the watch list, Apple. Why don't I move my watch list over here on my second screen? That way we can just start off with all the stocks over here, and then I can just bang go all through them. All right, but I have to show my notes to you guys, don't I? Fine. Fine, chat. Fine. We'll bring it back. Bring it back. Apple with the earnings report. Do I scroll? Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for the reveal? I mean, most of you guys already know probably. That's it. Okay. So it looks like the earnings move is negative, and they reported so damn late today. What's up with that? These guys are slacking on the earnings reports today. Lots of memes about their delay in the earnings report. That was funny. I like that too. A little bit of a pop later on in the earnings report. If we were to actually go read the earnings report, you guys ready for a nice little earnings? I'm not reading all that. I'm not reading all that. I'll just show you guys a picture real quick over here. This is straight up from Benzinga. Product category up 2.7% year over year. Mac falling 33%. iPad falling 10%. Wearable and home accessories falling also. Services up 16.29. Not sure what services they're talking about, but services are up. North America barely up. Europe, Greater China, Japan, rest of Asia all down year over year. Apple's outlook sounded caution regarding the outlook for the December quarter, which encompasses the key holiday sales season. Apple will likely guide to a revenue range that is both below normal seasonality and the consensus expectations. He added, the analysts blamed the potential softness on iPhone supply shortages and uneven consumer spending. Consumer estimates call for revenue, blah, 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 blah. Apple launched M3 powered MacBooks late Monday. Scary fast event. Oppenheimer analyst Martin Yang overall run around by the incremental upgrades, puzzled by the much shortened blah 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 blah. Apple stock has gained. Yeah, okay. Apple analyst target stock $203, suggesting roughly 14.5% potential upside. Okay, buddy, take it easy. Take it easy over there. You're gonna make me regret taking profits on my Apple positions. Okay. I mean, shout out to Apple overall. The numbers for most of their categories are down, right? Most of the categories, iPhone numbers were somehow up over there, but yeah, iPhone numbers were somehow up 2.7% year over year, but everything else was down. Services are making a little bit more money year over year. I'm guessing phone repair services or computer repair services, or it could be Apple TV and stuff, right? It could be Apple TV and stuff too, like subscription services. That's probably what it is. That's booming for them. So shout out to them on that. Overall, not such a bullish move in the after hours after the earnings report, dropping right back into the 170 area. Looks like 170 did hold in the after hour move, but tomorrow after the open, the question is, do we hold 170? And if we don't hold 170, looks like we'll probably go test this 167 to 166 area to the downside on Apple. So possibly could look for some buyings off of those areas if we do drop down. If 170 can't hold, wait to see what happens at 166 to 167 area. Can get some longs here if stock can find buyers. Don't let the market has bottomed theory force a long trade on the stock if there isn't one. Report was mainly negative, but don't let that bias also make you only look for shorts. Play the patterns, follow the money. Okay. Play the patterns, follow the money. That's all you have to do. Watch for 170 to hold. If 170 fails, watch for 166 to 167 hold. If that doesn't hold, there's way bigger alarms being rung over here. You're gonna hear alarms all across the market, all across the media, as this stock is crashing and probably triggering Free Fall Friday tomorrow, and the whole theory of the markets have bottomed will be a big question mark over there. The markets have rallied quite a bit in the last few days. 1, 2, 3, 4 green days in a row on the markets, and look how we are gapping up over here to the north side on the QQQ. I will not be surprised if we pop into this 366, 370 area tomorrow and just get stuffed right back to the downside, 365 area, and then get stuffed right back. Or even today's high on the QQQ, finding rejections over there and moving right back to 360 on the QQQ, and the S&P 500 going right back to test 4,200 on the futures. Where is the S&P 500 right now? Never mind. 4,300. Where's the low over here? 4,250. I mean, a drop right back to 4,280 or so, or even into 4,250. I will not be surprised if that happens tomorrow on the market. So watch today's high, watch this 4350 area for the S&P 500 futures. And if the market does want to trigger a little bit of a free fall, a little bit of a profit taking going into a Friday, especially, what a wonderful week this has been for the market. Don't be alarmed by that, and don't start being upset that I didn't warn you for it. But if more bulls show up into a Friday and this whole market as bottom thesis does play out, then join the rally, boys. Join the rally, because this market is obviously getting ready for a run into all-time highs, most likely, as people are talking about it on Twitter. A couple people that I work with are also saying, I mean, if we do see all-time highs, that's mad opportunities on the market. That's mad profits in everyone's pockets, and more people most likely driving into the stock market, bringing more volume. So I'm going to be happy off that. Talking about now a stock that popped up in the after hours, and will probably go higher. Can we get much higher? Probably get higher if the market actually has a good day tomorrow, and that will be Square. Square popped up in the after hours off the earnings report. Big move off the earnings move over here. I'm gonna pin it off of that candle right there and call it earnings. And looks like we took out a bunch of my levels that we have mapped out on I almost called it Shopify, on Square. And where did we pop into? I kind of forgot. We popped into 51, 53 area. Where is that? Oh, smokes. We're over here now. We're over here now on this position. And Square has a decent amount of shorts, if I remember accurately. Flow checker, are you done maintaining your website? Oh, come on, dude. I should probably not call it Square. Block has pretty decent short float, if I remember correctly. Where's the short float number? Short float, oh, it's only 3% now, I guess, because the stock has fallen down quite a bit. It's not that highly shorted. Square also had pretty recently, well, I guess when it was over here, a negative report come out about it, about, what was it, Cash App, something about Cash App, if I remember accurately. There was some a hit piece about Square and Cash App coming out, maybe something about criminal fraud or something along those lines. That brought down, let me change that one for you guys, Square. So that brought down the stock all the way back to the downside and to a new 52-week lows. But after this earnings report, big move into the north side for this position, and the fact that we're right back over here, I think 55 is obviously a level for us to possibly keep in interest. If the stock is able to get back above 55, there could be a way bigger squeeze to the north side on this position as shorts start running away. But as we just did our research, it's only a 3% short float, so maybe doesn't really have that big of a squeeze. But we've seen the stock make monster moves on earnings days. This already happens to be a monster move in itself. I mean, 43.98 going into, hello, please, come on, don't do this to me. $43.98 going into, what is it, we were at 50, 53, $51 or so. That's about a 20% pop in the after hours. I mean, expecting a stock to go more than 20% will be pretty hard for me. I'll be watching how the stock trades near $50, and if for any reason we pop into 55, I think that's a pretty good short opportunity. Watch how stock trades at 50. Could get some short chances if stock pops into 55 or opens near 55. But if stock trades to 55 slowly off the open, I don't know about that one. Watch how stock trades at 50. Could get some short chances if stock could get some short chances if stock can't hold this price. If stock pops into 55 or opens near 55, failure to hold this could give shorts. Also, for longs, wait to see if 50 can hold, but if 50 fails, wait at, what does the daily chart look like? Wait at 47. That's around 50. That's around 49.50. You know what? Budget. Okay, let's put some new lines over here. Put some new lines real quick. I want to see that low get tested. We want this area back in play because we're around that area right now. We have a little bit around this low possible because we broke down from that low and rallied to the downside. It's more of a range, honestly, for this breakout because the stock had a couple days to break out of that range, so it struggled for a little bit. So that's a range over there. I mean, this is also a range technically, right? Every line that you see is always a range. It's never really a true price point. But when you see where a stock kind of makes a bottom for a couple days, gives a new low, that ends up giving you a way better range to kind of keep an eye out for of how the stock trades into that range. This area over here, basically that $50, keeping an eye out what happens at 50 if we do go there. I think there's something over here in this range on this position, so we can kind of draw it over here. Previous resistances always turn into supplies. What am I saying? Previous resistances turn into supports and previous supports turn into resistances. So if the stock drops into this 47 to 47.50 after failing to hold $50, then we could look for some buying into these areas, which also happens to end up being the 50 period EMA right around that $48 area, 47.50, 46.93 zone. Can look for some buyings in that area. But if even this area can't hold, are you telling me the stock's earnings report does not matter at all? That 20% pop the stock had was irrelevant. So I don't think it actually goes all the way down back over here. Think of it kind of like what PayPal did. Let me show you an example, right? PayPal pops up to the north side, rejects the previous 52-week high, drops back down, bounces off the current range high, and this indecision area is where we're going to most likely find a couple days of trading, and then either bounce back up or bounce back to the or drop back to the downside. So that's a little bit of an expectation over here on Square, as we are already in this 51 to 53 area. Possible rejections of this 51 to 53, but if this 51 to 53 doesn't reject, we possibly go into 55 where we can look for some shorts, and then once 55 area shows you some shorts, you build in that shorts for a nice little move back to 50. But if the stock is already opening below 55 to 51 to 53 and is trading around 50 and 50 doesn't hold off the open, that short could give you a nice little move to the downside of a $3 trade, kind of like what PayPal gave us. So watching those little areas for us. Watch how the stock trades at 50. 55 for some shorts, 50 for some shorts. For longs, wait to see what happens at 50, and if 50 can hold, you're getting long there, and if 50 fails, wait at 47 to 47.50. Square. So that's the trade idea for Square for ourselves tomorrow. Gonna be excited to see what happens. Stocks like these that pop up drastically, I love it because it gives you new ranges to be a part of, and Square has a lot of times given us amazing trade opportunities on earnings day. The next stock over here we got, ladies and gentlemen, DraftKings, a stock we actually have on our long-term portfolio and have been slowly scaling off of the stock over here because we bag held the stock for goddamn too long. Okay, we were near $25 or so. We held it all the way down to 11, and then now we're taking profits on this position and enjoying this ride. Let me just get rid of that 25. Where? Oh, that's not 25. Never mind. That's 27.50. So we got a couple areas over here on DraftKings to be interested in. Looks like the earnings report's positive. DraftKings still reporting a little bit of a loss on earnings per share. Still reporting a loss on earnings per share. Sadly, it's still not making money, but doing good on the revenue. Sports gambling has constantly gone up. You know, they're making tons of money off of me. That's for goddamn sure. And they spent a lot of money overall, though, to be number one in the space. The amount of money that these guys have spent on advertising and consumer acquisition was a lot. So, and it was good that it paid off. It was good that it's paid off. Now they just need to start making some money over here. Let's quickly go check out what DKNG's yeah, see, they don't have any PE or forward P. That's because they don't make any money. Short flow 5%, so not that big of a short flow. The stock has had a lot of bullish catalysts come in day in and day out, for the last year, for pretty much all of this year, sorry, and has managed to pop back up into this $30 areas. And after this earnings report, I'm expecting somewhere around $34, $34.50, $35 to come into play. Wow, only to $31. No, come on, only up to $31, $32. So I think DraftKings has a bigger room to the north side. Honestly, I think this pop was too little, and based on what stocks have been doing recently, all of these stocks popping into 20%, 30%, 40% movers. I think DraftKings easily has that move in it tomorrow if buyers can show up. I'll be excited. Come on, DraftKings, let's do that. Let's do something exciting and get wild, get jiggy with it. Okay, let me just do this. Nah. We're not doing that. Okay. Sometimes you just have to like step back and just analyze the chart to see if the lines make sense, right? If the lines make sense, if you're just making shit up, or does it actually make sense? Just focusing on the top part, not focusing on the bottom of these lines. We can actually even nuke these. Hello? We can actually even nuke these lines at the downside, because we're not worried about what's happening downside at the moment on the stock. We're only worried about what's happening to the upside and above $30 or so, because that's where the stock is. We're currently trading around this range consolidation near $30 to $31. A pop into 32 and a breakout of 32 could just take us into 34. I will not be surprised if the stock opens up into 32 to 32.50 tomorrow in pre-market. So watch for it to open up into these ranges, and then a failure to bring in the selling and stay above this area equals a monster move up to 34, giving us either 34 or a bigger move up. I mean, how much of a trade does that end up being? That's the type of move I'm looking for DraftKings. I'm looking for that move. Let's see it. Give us a move into these ranges where you open up at 12-20%, then you come back to $31 or $30, hold $31 or $31, and then you run to 34. Let me see some fun stuff like that, DraftKings. So this one I'll be very excited for. Looking for 30 to hold if stock opens under what's that price point? Under 32. If stock opens around 32 to 32.50 in pre and holds 32, can look for some longs here for a move to 34. If stock opens around 32/32.50 but can't get above this area, could look for shorts for a move to 31/$30. If stock opens under 32 and fails to hold 30, could get short here for a move back into I don't think 30 fails to hold. I don't think 30 fails to hold. 31's infliction, 30 matters, and then 32 matters. So this is the range over here that we care about. I don't think we need to be worrying about too much under 30. If stock under 30, I'm kind of turned off on trading it. It's that simple for me. If it's under 30, I'm really turned off. I don't care about the stock going back into yesterday's ranges. Maybe you can look for a long at yesterday's high or yesterday's close prices, but I'll be pretty turned off if the earnings catalyst is not bullish enough to hold it at the low of this range over here at that $29.96, $30 area. Pretty obvious over there why if you can understand. Carvana is actually a pretty highly shorted stock, but right off the rip, this one does not look good. Let me quickly change this one for us over here to CVNA. Carvana does not look good right off the rip by clicking that button. A little bit of, in line. They didn't lose a lot more than they thought they would. They lost pretty much in line. Is this a situation where bad is good? Yeah, it looks like it is. Bad is good in this situation. We kind of nailed one of the lows over here on the earnings move, that 27.50 area, holding perfectly on the earnings move overall. I'm a little surprised, not surprised, but I'm a little confused as to where I want to put this marker at. So maybe I'll just put it over there. Overall, we popped up. We held the 27.50. We popped up into 32, got above 32, but then we got right back under and pretty much traded around today's high / today's close. So not too special over there on Carvana, but like I said just now, not too long ago, CVNA has a decently high short flow percentage, 38%, and you can see the color of the short flow percent coming in at red. That's usually only does that when the prices or the short flow number is higher than average. So if the short squeeze was supposed to come in for a stock, it could be Carvana over here, and we could obviously see some fun moves to the north side. I think that earnings report not too bad. The earnings report was a miss, but it was pretty much in line, right? Pretty much in line. Hopefully we finally see Carvana bringing in some more volume now, like 100 million shares, 200 million shares. I don't think we're going to see 200 million shares, but the in-line earnings report, it's when the earnings report comes out pretty drastically out of as a surprise, right? So I don't think we're going to see that big of a difference in the volume. Maybe 50 million tomorrow, maybe 100 million tomorrow. I don't think we see 200 million tomorrow, but a couple areas to be interested. I like how we bounced right off that 27.50 in the after hours. We're right around $33 over here in the after hour high move. Looks like that's right around this area, that 32 33 area, and that, what was the other price, 27.50? It's right over here. Looks like these range high kind of came into support. So 26 to 27.50 could look for some buyers in that area. And for shorts, you want to be pretty careful short in the stock, especially if the squeeze is taking place. You want to be very, very careful, very, very timed. You might even have to pay for some shorts on the stock. So I have levels over here. That 41 kind of stands out. Maybe we can look for some new ranges to put our lines in on the stock at the moment. Why don't we do that? Yeah, you know what? We're gonna nuke them all right now. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it, dude. That's a little bit too much of a range if you ask me. But that's pretty much the goddamn range. Okay. Got a little bit of action over here. Hello, let me put the goddamn line in, please. Thank you. Okay. A little choppy over here, but you know, that was the range. That was the low of the range. That was the high of the range. We made a lower high and then kind of just created that thing, lower low, lower high, started going down, tried to hold that low, did not able to hold that low, tried to hold this low over here, was not able to hold that low, and just created a bigger down move. And obviously negative catalyst, not enough buying, volume dying out, more reasons and more reasons. We can just keep on piling as to why this happened. But now that the stock has kind of starting to retrace on the earnings report, I'm interested in these zones. So we popped up into this range already over here. So, I mean, there's nothing for us to really see. Oh, we might just have to throw in the anchored VWAP for earnings again. Yeah, we'll do it from here. Get me. Get away from me. Come here. So, looking at that, we're just shy of that 3450 area, just shy of 3450 in the after hours. So if for any reason we pop into 3450 and fail to stay above that, possibly could look for some shorts there. The fact that the stock is trading already in a weird way in the after hours, I'm not really too confident on the stock tomorrow. I think I'm gonna probably have to wait on the stock on how it trades in pre-market to maybe repaint some of my levels over there and then prepare for it. Let's also do the same on Coinbase. I mean, Coinbase has been a little choppy recently, so I need to repaint my levels over here. I've been very lazy on putting levels into Coinbase, but now that it's an earnings day time, it's finally time to repaint some of these zones, some of these levels on the stock. That's a $3 range. Get the F out of here. I'm not doing that. So we got clear box over here uh there's a little bit of a midpoint here somewhere. A little bit of a midpoint here somewhere, right around $80. Right around $80. That's a low midpoint. So clearly a nice little box the stock has been trading in for a couple months or so. A couple good catalysts came out here and there, where obviously one of them being Bitcoin, BTC, USD having a monster move to the north side. I thought BTC broke above 35K today, and it did. Yeah, it did break out of 35, but then we're right back into 34, sadly. And that could have helped out Coinbase today. Let's go see how Coinbase did today. Coinbase did rally up 8%. Market had a good day, so that helped it out. And looks like Coinbase, oh wow, that's a monster beat on Coinbase. Surprise earnings per share. Not too much of a beat on revenue, but pretty decent beat on revenue also. But monster beat on earnings per share over there on Coinbase. So if we zoom in, what the hell is going on over here? What the hell is going on over here? Hello? There was no volume on that candle. Hello? Coinbase got destroyed after hours. Where do we move into? $80. Yeah, basically that midpoint price. Thank God we put in that midpoint price. Now it makes us look a little bit smarter for putting in that midpoint price, right? So basically moving right back into the middle of this range. I think 80 holds and we could see a bigger move up tomorrow. I'll be honest, I think it's a bullish indication that that earnings report came out that good. Okay? Bitcoin prices are going up. Their revenue was much lower loss per share than previously expected. I think there's some rally over here. I will be surprised if the stock actually doesn't open up in the higher end of these ranges. I think the stock has a big move to the north side tomorrow. I'll be very keen on watching. Big beat on EPS. Let's actually go see what their guidance is, huh? Bring in Benzinga screen for you guys so you guys can read along if you want to. What happened with Coinbase reported third quarter net revenue was down 6%. Company reported transaction down 12%. Why am I making that noise? It sounds so stupid. Subscription of services revenue was flat compared to second. I'll stop. Bitcoin represented 38% of the trading volume and 37% of the transaction revenue for Coinbase in the third quarter compared to 40 and 39 respectively. I think that's a good indication. That means more coins and other coins are being traded more actively. Example, Ethereum. Look at that. Ethereum moved from 19 and 18 to 23 and 21. So Ethereum actually moving up. Q3 was a strong quarter on Coinbase amid multi-year low levels of volatility. We are pleased with our financial results. The company said in shareholder letter. To be flat. Okay, not bad. I mean, I'll be honest. Even though they lost on revenue, transaction numbers, and a bunch of other numbers over there, big beat on EPS, but couple misses on other factors. BTC slowing down a bit, but ETH picking up on their platform. In my opinion, bullish. AFER looking for 80 to hold. Looking for 80 to hold. If 80 can't hold, could look for shorts, but the ER will keep me away from that. So maybe wait for longs at range lows of 70, 69.50 slash 72. Okay. Nate came out with the earnings report also. Net came out with the earnings report also after hours. Let's go take a look at this bad boy. Looks like right off a quick glance, earnings report was positive. I think net popped up. Oh, that's a pretty good beat on earnings per share. Okay, nice. Yeah, I think net popped up. Let's say net went up to $66 to $70. I quit. I quit. I'm done predicting. Today, we are so wrong on our predictions. I have no clue what's going on over here. Jesus Christ. Did these guys guide lower? They had to have. Let's bring in our trusty friends. Earnings Whisper. No, not Earnings Whisper. Benzinga. In line slash better. In line slash better full year guidance. Why'd you drop? Why'd you drop it like it's hot? I'm not sure about that move over here to the downside in the after hours. Earnings report was positive, so it might just be nothing burger for me tomorrow. I mean, if the report was positive AF, guidance is also higher than consensus estimates. I'm not sure why we're trading lower. We're below 53 in the after hours, went as low as 49 and then popped back up to 53, 54 and rejecting that 54 area, surprisingly enough. So I guess if the stock cannot hold above 54 and show us some buyers above 54 tomorrow, that's enough reasons to get short over there, because the stock wants to trade to the downside somewhere around 49, somewhere around 50, even after having a good report. So that's possibly a trade idea over there. Let's write that down over here. If stock can't stay above 54 and opens under in pre, can look for shorts unless 50 wants to hold. If stock pops into 54 and rejects to stay above it, can get short here for a ride down. If 50 holds, could maybe think about longs because ER was good. Jesus, my mind is farting. I kind of forgot how to spell here for a second. I was like, how do you spell here? Oh, I was panicking. Oh. Okay, I'm good now. Carvana, we'll have to prep for that one tomorrow pre-market. I'm a little unsure about how I want to trade that stock tomorrow, so I'll consult with my manager tomorrow, see what he's thinking about it, and then kind of prep for that off of that. We have a bunch of back burner earnings plays, some of them that came out today off of earnings. Big moves on Palantir, Shopify, Roku, you name it. So obviously we have levels for them mapped out already. Some of these levels come from yesterday. I don't think I have to kind of run through these same levels again and again for us. And some of these stocks I don't even plan to trade tomorrow, like SoFi or Etsy, but they're there. Let me just delete that from there and move it a little bit lower. But they're there in case, they bring in some volume for us and they get a little bit active. Then we can kind of look for some trades there. Eli Lilly for sure not trading it, so we can move that a little bit lower over there. Roku can possibly move up, but Penn can move down on the watch list a little bit also, because Penn, I think tomorrow will do a little bit lower volume. SEDG did quite a bit of a move today that had a monster bounce. I know I told you guys I would watch SEDG like a hawk today, but I did not. I ended up looking at other positions. SEDG actually popped right into that previous lows. Wow. I mean, look at that long. I'm sure Lance will post a video about this long today. Monster move, but this was not actually the right side of the V pattern that Lance was talking about a couple days ago, or yeah, sometime last week when the stock gave you that drop and pop. This wasn't actually like that. This was just right off the open, ripped up to the north side. If you caught it, you caught it. If not, you missed the train. So overall, though, SEDG popping right back into these range lows and not able to trade above that range lows is possibly a good short area. Somewhere from 72 to... How many goddamn lines do I have here? Jesus. I mean, you kind of want to involve today's high also if you are looking for those shorts. If the stock can't get above these ranges over here from... Wow, that looks really choppy and ugly. If it can't get above from 72 to 74, you kind of can get shorts on this position on SEDG and write it back down. I mean, weak catalyst after weak catalyst. If stock can't hold 72, easy shorts to the downside, but the ranges 72 to 74, so be ready to risk till that top. Okay, Pinterest 22 was a solid level today. Insane. Oh, not Pinterest, sorry, that was Penn National 22 was an absolute level. If this price can hold tomorrow, can look to get into a long and have some tight risk and see where stock goes intraday, but low prio trade in my opinion. Pins 31 actually ended up doing a little bit of action around 31. We could wait and see what happens around 31 a little bit. Watching 31 area. Also watching what is this range again? 29. No, I'm just watching 31. Qualcomm, not really that much of a priority for me. PayPal, not that much of a priority either, but it'll just be something maybe on the back burner. We did pop into this 55.50 big doji candle. I think that's what that candle is called. Very much undecisive action over here. If we see more selling coming in around 55, possibly could look for that short. So based on how the stock traded today, I think we're looking for a move back above 55 and holding 55/56. So looking for stock to get above 55/50/56 and hold. If it can do that, we could look for longs up to 58/59 area, but if the 55/50 to 56 zone doesn't hold, could look for shorts. The short thesis is not a strong one. Roku AMD, we are just gonna not worry about putting levels on that right now. Airbnb, Lilly, ETS, SoFi, don't care about that. Palantir, we already have levels, and the only level that matters is 18. We need to see that 18 breaking. We need to see 17 holding. So as long as Palantir can show us some buying in the lower end of these ranges, breaking back above 18 to 1850, basically 18 to 1850 wall breaks, we have a lot of fun coming in. This stock, after this positive earnings report recently came out, makes it eligible for the S&P 500 inclusion. So that's a little bit more positive catalyst coming out for the Palantir position. And you guys know how much I love Palantir. So I'm going to be looking for that bigger move to the north side tomorrow. I want to see that 18 holding. Let's see some buying around this 18. Let's see that 1850 breaking. That is pretty much the range, 18 to 1850. And once that goes, we have moved to 19 and much higher on Palantir. So watch for that level over there. Shopify, I just said I wouldn't talk about most of these stocks, but I'm still talking about it. That's how much I love talking about stocks. Shopify, we need to see that 55/50 to 56 hold. Once again, it's as simple as that. I need to see 55/50 to 56 hold. And for a trade for the north side, I mean, I'm not really too sure what to look for, but if we can get above 60, if stock is above 60 and holding, could look for longs here. That's pretty much it. Fubo, ENB both announced earnings pre-market tomorrow, and both of them are most likely not the most exciting stocks to trade anyways. So not too worried about getting prepared for them. We have a lot of trades over here that we're already prepared for. There's no way we're going to be lacking trades tomorrow. There's a lot on... Oops. I was wondering what's going on over there. There's a lot of stocks on watch list over here, so we don't have to worry about running out of trades for us to look for. But if you are running out of them, you will always have the Magnificent Seven. Real quick, let's go take a look at Affirm, because our friend Money Mitch talked about Affirm, about how it was his best trade on the day today. Oh, wow, I can see that. Affirm holding that wonderful double top from the past, bouncing exactly off that level off the open, or we opened right off that price, giving you a long, tight risk to reward right under 1950, and a move up to almost $21. So Money Mitch caking it. Not sure how he traded it, or you know, what he pulled off over here, but I'm happy that he banked it on Affirm. Shout out to Money Mitch from Benzinga. Go check him out. And especially now that Affirm has made this move, we could look for some pullbacks into 20, holding 20. It's basically 20 to 1950 now, right? Affirm goes onto our radar. Thank you for Money Mitch to pointing it out. Look for buying into 1950 to 20 on pullbacks. Looking for stock to basically go into this 2250 to 24 areas to see what happens on the north side of the game. I think the stock has a lot of room to the north side if we do pull back and hold these areas. I'm not going to really put down notes for these levels. I'm not sure what I want to do in this area. A break out of this area, or rejects of this area, I'll worry about it when that comes in. But tomorrow I need to see first the pullback. I need to see a pullback. I need to see those buyers present again, and then I'll make a decision off of that. The next stock over here is Bill. Bill made a little bit of a move in the after hours. I think it moved down drastically, actually. Yeah, that's what it happened. I saw this one in the after hours scanner, but this is an earnings play at the end of the day nevertheless. So for any reason, if Bill, if I remember correctly, is a pretty decent enough of a company, earnings report was positive, they make money. Let's go see if they do actually. What's their PE? Flat, so they don't make money, but their forward PE is 37. Overall, I'm not sure what they do. I'll be honest with you guys, okay? We only care about price action over here on the Trader Prad show, on the Praddy Daddy show. You know what it is. Does decent volume throughout the day. It might have dropped right into $68 to $70, did it? Ooh, a little bit lower than that. That's more than like a 10% drop, obviously. 40% drop. Ooh. That's what's happening with all these stocks right now. I mean, I guess because the VIX is so high. Oh no, the VIX is going back to 15. Market bottomed. Market bottomed. Market has bottomed. That's it. It is what it is. Let's put Affirm in my notes, Bill in my notes, FTNT in my notes. And then we'll go talk about it. So Bill, obviously a big drop to the downside, breaking multiple levels over here on the longer term frame, and this brings in bigger traders now, people from the past, people from a bigger tool. Wow, the stock actually not that old. It's actually only 2020. I thought the stock would be a little bit older than that. Okay, so where are we trading? That's the IPO price. We're right around these peaks at the moment. Is that what's happening? 59, 60 area. Okay. Ta-da! Right? It's not magic, right? You just basically look at history, look at what's happening, look for your areas that where stock has previously found big rejections and found previously supports. That area looks like another possible, but it's not that far away from 64, 65, 68, pretty damn close. I'm not going to put another line there. That's a nice little double bottom where the stock kind of is trading at today too. It tried to triple bottom around that price point, but no bueno, as the earnings report has plummeted this position. So if for any reason we're trading under 61, 62, let's even say $60. If for any reason, yeah, $60. If for any reason we're trading under 60, there could be a bigger south side action, but the stock is now basically going back to all the way into IPO prices. We're not that far away from IPO prices. IPO at what, like 30 some odd dollars. The next few months after IPO, we run up to this is COVID era, obviously. So COVID, right before COVID, we run up to 61. During COVID, we drop down to 30, and then right after COVID, we go up to $340. What in the world? But I guess a lot of stocks did this during COVID. I guess the growth stock over here, I'm not sure what they do, but they really boomed to the north side. And if people love these prices, you would expect them to kind of show back up, right? You would expect them to show up. Let's put in an anchored VWAP from the absolute all-time low. So that's showing you that the average price of the stock right now for everyone who's been trading since the March lows, or the premium price for the stock from all the way from there is $140. So you can expect how many short sellers over here are in the money and how many long buyers are under the money, or out of the money at the moment, or are underwater. So we could see more selling. We could see some new buying coming in. A lot of people who previously missed the rally around $73 could think about buying this position up tomorrow. So I think Bill will be interesting. I really have no bigger picture plan. I'm just gonna follow the money, follow the flow, see what happens. No levels and no bigger picture plan just yet ready for me on this position. FTNT Fortinet coming out with earnings report. Ooh, another stock over here plummeting to the south side. We love to see that. We love to see that. So another stock plummeting to the downside on earnings report. If we scroll back over here, that one's at $45. So we're pretty much right back into the 52-week low on this position. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, right back into 52-week lows. I like that. That's a solid hold of 42 on that earnings day. We gap down, hold 42, and then rip up. And then on this earnings day, we're gapping down again right into that 46 area and then holding and possibly ripping above 46. Don't be surprised if you see a candle like this. Look at that big candle that day, right? Big candle. It had a 11% move that day overall from top to bottom. And if history is anything as a repeater on FTNT, then I'll be excited to see if that move is possible. We hold off right into this 46. We popped right into 46 actually, if you can see right there, 46, 44, and a little bit under 44 is that 42.50 area. So I'll be interested to see if 46 can hold. If stock Okay. If stock under 46, wait for 42.50 area to come into play. Yeah, 42.50. Okay, awesome. I think we're pretty much ready for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Now the only thing we have to talk about are the big tech. We are ready for the only big tech that you kind of should have on radar, in my opinion, tomorrow. It's Apple. We can quickly talk about how beautiful the tech basket or the S&P 500 basket has been. Both of them popping up to the north side and really rallying all of this week to the north side. Up 1.8% on the QQQ, up 1.9% on the S&P 500. S&P 500 moving right into a possible wall over here. We are also at the 100 period EMA and the 50 period SMA, both around $430, 430, 431, and we're walking into that possible resistance on the S&P 500. But if we do get above 430, 431 and hold above those prices, look how much more room the S&P 500 has, 437 to the north side. I will not be surprised if that happens intraday tomorrow. These markets have been on absolute fire, short sellers getting burnt and new longs entering. Once again, you know, Bill Ackman, other big players in the market are talking about a possible market bottom being put in and a new all-time high coming into the stock market. If that is true, I mean, there's a lot of stocks that are going to rally, so be ready for those fun actions for the next few weeks. But all at the same time, don't let that bias from Bill Ackman or anybody else who's telling you this, even me, keep you away from the short side. Just follow the flow, follow the money. Who cares if the market has bottomed? Who cares if the market is not bottomed? We're day traders. We're not swing traders. We're not long-term traders. We care about what happens in the market from 9:30 to 4 o'clock, a little bit about intraday too. But we make positions and we execute intraday, day by day, minute by minute, second by second, right? When it's good to have a longer term picture, it helps you create a theory, it helps you create a thesis and trade off that thesis. But control what you can control and fuck the rest, right? Pardon my French, but control what you can control and fuck the rest. If the market can hold above this 430 area, get ready to go long. If the market can't hold above 430 area, then who care about what Bill Ackman says? Get ready to go short. It's that simple. Follow the flow, follow the money. Some hedge funds that were short took major losses this week. Ooh, I don't doubt that at all. This market, big rib to the north side. A lot of the longer term anchored VWAPs actually broke the month to date from October. We got under that, but let me just really move this to the November one because now we're on November month. The previous month to date, October, we got under that October. So any hedge funds who bought up in October, any new hedge funds, they were worried about it. And any new hedge funds who got short, they were happy because we were pushing down. But now they're going to be worried a little bit. The year to date anchored VWAP looked like a little weak for a second. But now, as you guys can see, constant holding of the year to date anchored VWAP, this could end up being like this. We traded under that for a little bit, but look what happened for the next few months on the year to date, right? So I won't be surprised if that's what happened. That's what a lot of people are expecting. But hey, coming back to what I said earlier just 5 seconds ago, control what you can control. The only thing you can control is how you execute. And how you should execute is if the market can hold above 430 tomorrow on the S&P 500, we can look for longs. If the market can't hold above 430/431 tomorrow, get ready to look for some shorts. You see the notes right there. Do I even have to say it out loud? If the market can't hold those prices, then we're looking for a possible free fall Friday right back into the lower end of those ranges over there. As for QQQ, I think QQQ has a little bit more room to the north side before we actually see a little bit of sell-off. I think QQQ needs to go test the 365 area and then see what happens. So no real notes. I think SPY is the dictator of free fall Friday or not. QQQ has a lot of range, in my opinion, so I'm gonna let QQQ let QQQ alone, do what it wants to do. I think also with how Apple's earnings reports coming along today, not the most bullish case for the QQQ tomorrow either. But once again, I think the real dictator for tomorrow's market will be SPY, ladies and gentlemen. But there could be something else that could dictate the overall market move tomorrow, and that's going to be anything on the economic calendar. Usually Fridays, there's Sometimes on Fridays there's something, but usually not much. Let's see if there's anything on this Friday. There is actually a lot on this Friday, Prad. We got a bunch of events over here that could either make or break the market. Average hourly earnings. Okay. Average hourly earnings, apparently a 3-star event. The month over month and the year over year. Non-farm payrolls coming in at 830, a 3-star event. Unemployment rate coming in at 830, another 3-star event. 945 S&P 500 Global Services PMI. Producer Manufacturer Index, I think that's what the PMI stands for, coming in at 945. At 10 o'clock, we got the ISM non-manufacturing PMI. 10 o'clock, that's also another 3-star event. And then we got a Fed Powell or somebody talking. No, we don't. So once again, quick recap. We got 8:30, 9:45, and 10 o'clock, all as major market events. The market could go on either direction. These could really push SPY above 430 or really keep SPY right around 430 until one or the other number is more of an overbearing surprise than the other. And that could kind of set off the market in either direction. So you want to be careful at 8:30, at 9:45, and 10 o'clock tomorrow to see what SPY does at 430. Keep an eye out on that. Real quick, let's go take a look at what the chat is saying. Chat has been pretty quiet today, sadly. Not a lot of messages in the chat. Let's see what chat's saying. The last message I read was from, I think, Money Mitch. CDP saying, please like for TraderPrad. I appreciate it. Yes. Hit that like and subscribe if you have not already. Come on, support your boy TraderPrad. My hand's itchy, man. I went for a swim today and the chlorine is really bugging me. The chlorine in the water is so annoying. I even smell so much like chlorine even after using like good soap. Ugh, hate it. Okay. FOMO seems like it's kicking in. Apple holds Santa could be on the way. Ooh, you're talking about Santa Claus rally. Look, Apple's numbers were not the greatest. They had a lot of declines in numbers, but that could also come from production. But I don't think they're lacking in production. They're just not selling. I'm seeing a lot of my own friends move away from Apple and go into Android. So I think Apple is going to struggle in the near future. But hey, who am I to say? I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going on at all. I'm just an average monkey who smokes trees and punches keys, baby. I know nothing. The only thing I know is I know nothing. And the smart man once said that. I think his name was, did Socrates say that or does Plato say that? I think Socrates said it, but everyone gives it to Plato. I think Socrates said it. That quote. The only thing I know is I know nothing, ladies and gentlemen. DraftKings is in long-term bullish upcycle, says TH. I don't disagree with that at all. I think DraftKings is actually my number one play on the day tomorrow. Very, very excited to see how that stock trades. Great show, Prad. Gave you a like. John, you're the man. I love you. Love the support. You always pour into the streams, the chat, the offline comments too. You're the best. Thank you for all the love and all the support, John. Hopefully you have a big day tomorrow and an even better weekend, John. Is tomorrow a free fall Friday? I don't know. I mean, it depends. It depends if these numbers, the economic calendars that we just talked about not too long ago, come good or bad. That kind of has a pretty big weight on if the market can make or break. As we said not too long ago, just wait and see what happens on the S&P 500 near 430. If we can get above 430 and 431, hold above these two price points, I think we got a nice rally to 437 or so. But if we don't hold above that, then I think we got to move right back to the downside on the S&P 500 for some profit taking into the weekend. Makes sense. Prad mRNA did that at the open. SRV bounce. Yeah, don't care. Don't care. I'll actually pull it up. Hold up. Let me see. Nope, that's not the V bounce. I'm looking at it on the 1 minute. That's not the V bounce at all. This is not This is not a V bounce in any shape. The V bounce should look more like this. That's just instant pop up and buying coming in, popping it up. This is what the V bounce looks like. This is what the S&B Capital also talks about the setup. I would not call that the V bounce at all. This, more of a V bounce, but this, was that the day? What day was it where it dropped down? It's the 20th of October. Yeah, this was the day. So, oh wait, this is the 5-minute chart. That makes sense. So this, right off into the pre-market, you're seeing a big opening imbalance. The stock did 50,000 shares in pre-market. If you zoom that out, oh, maybe if we go to the 5-minute chart instead, the stock did 150K on the opening candle today. 50K, 40K, pretty much the same. Not as much as it did that day, but pretty much damn near the same. Let's go back to the 5-minute chart over here. Zoom out a little bit. You'll see how the opening volume for this candle is usually around 13,000 shares, right? 13,000 shares or so. That day, the opening volume for that candle, 50,000 shares, big selling dump right off the opening liquidity on that position, taking it to the downside, and then no more selling. And then the selling just stopped. That is the SSR V-shaped bounce right there. Recognizing what's happening and then catching it off that. Moderna, sure, it made that bounce. I honestly don't care about that bounce. You know how I feel about the stock. It was SSR. It gave you that bounce. Double bottom. But nah, I don't care about Pfizer, Moderna. You know I'm not going to trade them. You know I'm not going to chart them. You know I'm just going to be rude about them. Don't care. Don't care. But it popped into a pretty good level over here that you can look for some shorts. Right back into the 52-week low. If it rejects 72 to 75, get short, have fun. Get short, have fun. Bless up, Brady. What's up, Jose? Bless up, big man. Nvidia should also make a move back up. Nvidia had a pretty good rally. I think it just all depends on the tech basket and the S&P 500 tomorrow. See what happens there. Some hedge funds that were short took major losses. Yeah, we read that. Trying to remember if I'm forgetting anything. I don't think I am, other than the fact that to wish you guys a great night. Have a great Friday. Have an even better weekend. All my links are down below. You guys know where they are. I feel like I say this every day, and it's probably annoying and boring for you guys because the same 8 or 9 people who keep tuning in. So I'll just shut up. You know where to find all my links. Straight down below. Click on them if you feel like it. If not, at least hit the like for me. That would mean the world to me. I will catch you guys next week, 8 o'clock, as we always do at the after hours. So 8 o'clock over here. Back in on Monday. Have a great weekend. Have a great trading session. And if you want to stay in touch, you know how to contact me. Reach out to my Discord. You can even DM me on Instagram or Twitter, and we'll stay in touch over there. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, good night. Peace. Ciao.